सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्मा तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। Yesterday we started with the introduction of Atmabodha by understanding first the author, who is Bhagavan Adi Sankaracharya ji himself. And we went into understanding why the title is named as Atmabodha, Bodha of the Atma Tattva. The nature of Atma Tattva being consciousness, Chaitanya Tattva, knowing that Chaitanya Tattva literally translates to knowing the knowing. And the most important thing here is, in knowing the knowing, there is no knower engaged. Confusing? For everything else that which we perceive through our organs of perception, there needs to be an entity that is engaging with all the data that is being gathered to know it. But that which is illumining this aspect of knowing within the intellect, that illumining aspect, before it can illumine anything, what does it illumine? It illumines its own presence. And in it, illumining its own presence, there is no doership involved, there is no knower involved. Hence, therefore, this is an objectless knowing. Therefore, it is called Atmabodha. Knowing the knowing. And then we went into the first shloka. Please repeat after me. If those of you who thought that you missed out yesterday, I gave you a nutshell as to what we discussed yesterday. tapobhiḥ kṣīṇapāpānāṃ śāntānāṃ vītarāgiṇām mumukṣūṇāmapekṣyo'yamātmabodho vidhīyate. Yesterday we also looked into who is the qualified person for this knowledge. Tapobhiḥ kṣīṇapāpānāṃ. It is to be pursued by those that are tapasvins. Now, tapas can be done at various stages, assuming that we are doing tapas. There are those that do every Friday, I think. Food without any sourness. Tapas. सुना होगा ना? हाँ, संतोष में रंग. Then there are tapas like, I know of a Baba, I met him in a bus, and he was bending down, and it was not out of humility, it was because at that time when I met him, for about 15 years, he had his one hand up. We also recognize him as Ek Hati Baba. Ek हाथ ऊपर रहता है. The joint here has frozen, so it doesn't bend. Therefore, he bends himself. That is also tapas. If you have gone to the recent Kumbh Mela, you will see people in all kinds of tapascharya. अग्रे वह्नि पृष्ठे भानुः रात्रौ चुबुक समर्पित जानुः. Where does this come? Bhaja Govindam. Very good. So in hot summer, sitting on hot road, covered around, enveloped around with fire, literally doing tapa. Tapa meaning heating it up. And in the night when it is in the cold season, then sitting in a langot, not sitting on a matted surface, on the cold floor, and chubuka samarpita janu. Chubuka chin, janu is the knee. Ajanu bahu, right? Janu. Janu means knee. If you have a pet name Janu, it means knee. Chubuka samarpita janu. It's so cold that why? Tapas. Here he says a very beautiful definition of tapas. It is tapas only if it is washing away all the papa of the individual. Now, how do we ascertain that the papa is being removed? He says the whole purpose of being a tapasvin is to reach to a point wherein this Vedantic knowledge becomes accessible. Now, accessibility is not about just being in the physical presence or the online presence and listening to Vedanta Tattva, but after the Shravana, there is Manana Nididhyasana happening as well. In Bhagavatam, when Gokarna does his Bhagavat Saptaha, only Dhundukari releases himself from all bondage. So he asks those Parshadas that have come to receive Dhundukari, hey, Shravanam tu sarve kritam. Everybody has done the Shravana. Why not this same result to everybody? So they smile and say, yes, Shravanam tu sarvam kritam, mananam nididhyasanam natu kritam. So what is that tapa which is qualifying you to reach to this and removing all the obstacles that come in our path to stop us from being in this Shravana Manana Nididhyasana cycle? That alone is called tapas. Rest of it can be called a mere exercise of that particular thing which you are doing. If it enables you to finally reach, that is the prayojana. What is the prayojana? that mumukṣūṇāṃ hitārthāya, for the benefit of the mumukshu to reach to the chaturtha purushartha here and now. Such effort is called kṣīṇapāpānāṃ. I am all simplicity. I will not even wash my clothes. Why? He is Deena Dayala, I am Deena Daridra. I am not ridiculing that sadhana. All that I am saying is, does that help us reach to this threshold wherein I am qualified for sitting, listening, absorbing, assimilating, and finally abiding in the highest truth? That is what is moksha. In the Western world, they have an acronym YOLO, because that is what their religion teaches. You only live once. So I tell them that our principle is YOLAM. You only live until moksha. That is the only way out. Everything else is, in Hyderabadi language, khayali pulao. Nothing with depth in it. śāntānāṃ vītarāgiṇām. How do I know that I am passing through this path? That all the papa is being reduced one by one. There should be some marker for myself, right? Some indicator saying that I am progressing, which is one of the most frequently asked questions. Swami, how do I know that I am progressing? Karte jao, pata chal jayega. It's a very vague answer. In Vedanta, there is no vagueness. There is clear, sure shot indicators given. śāntānāṃ. When you sit down to do your sadhana, puja, japa, meditation, how quickly can you gather your mind and it can stay undisturbed? First step. Second step, yes, that can be achieved, but after having engaged yourself into that, when you walk out into the field of interaction, how long can you hold that gatheredness, togetherness of the mind, that it is not agitated? śāntānāṃ. To a point wherein neither am I agitated nor I am the source of agitation. Yes, the first step would be that you be unagitated even if others are agitated because of you. The second step, which is more crucial, is neither are you agitated nor are you the source of agitation for others. śāntānāṃ. It doesn't mean that when required you do not have the capacity to create agitation. क्योंकि इन व्यवहार सीधी उंगली घी नहीं निकलती है. That also has to be understood properly. Anything happens, I don't care. That is called callousness. Now, if you do care, you will have to. But then, having done that, you withdraw, and when you withdraw, there is not even an iota of that reminiscence of agitation in your head. There is no simmering effect. Usually when we get angry, when we get agitated, irritated, it is like a fire that has not been put off. There is something constantly, it is burning. That anybody comes into our life, pata hai kya hua? How will I know? No, sit down. And then narrate the whole thing in 9 yards. Is it done? नहीं. मन का भड़ास वो चलता रहता है, चलता रहता है, चलता रहता है. śāntānāṃ. That even if you have to go work and be in a rajasic mode, how quickly can you bring it back to that centeredness, balanced disposition? śāntānāṃ. Now, in order to be in that equilibrium constantly, now somebody who is riding a bike or a cycle will not say, how long should I keep this balance? If you want to be safe and if you want others on the road to be safe, as long as you are riding, it has to be on a balance mode. So there is no option that I choose to be in balance in certain occasions only. Nazar hati, durghatna ghati. You take your eye off and you falter. So what are the things that will keep me distracted then? Identifying all those factors and vītarāgiṇām, having immense vairagya towards those that create disturbance. It is not necessary that that which is disturbing me is the factor that I have to evaluate the rest of them around, saying that, if you are a vairagi, this has to be avoided by you. One has to decide for themselves as to which factor is disturbing me from inside. Identify it, isolate it, eliminate it. Eliminate it not from the outside, eliminate it from the inside, that its presence or absence has absolutely no ripple effect inside. Now, if we analyze further, why is it that I am running after something? Why is it that I am allowing anything to impact myself? See, you are all sitting here. Why? काहे बैठे हैं? Because I have opened the door. Simple. Now, once that I have allowed, I cannot hold my head and say, "ये पता नहीं कहाँ से आ गया." You getting the point? There is a filtering system. Just because it is there, I need not have it consumed. The same habit dominoes itself into every aspect of our life. Why did you eat? पड़ा था. And some people have, when they come, क्या है? Everything. In Telugu we say kelakadam, kelking. Constantly kelking. Why? Because it was there. Kahe baba? Why? Is it necessary? If not, let it be. That is the first point. Second, more subtler, is because we are not at the stage, we may be telling our Vedanta to others, then it becomes not pravachan, it becomes paravachan. Vachana only for others. That from inside, because we are wrongly identified with things that are not a constant, that identification creates a limitation. The effect of that limitation is that there is a lack, there is a khalipan. And I constantly go out because that deficient nature inside creates kama. If it fulfills, it creates lobha. If it doesn't fulfill, then it creates krodha. Krodhat bhavati sammoha, sammohat smriti vibhramaha, smriti bhramshat buddhinashaha, buddhinashat dishum. And then feel sorry. I don't know why is this happening to me. बाद में ना सिंक के पास खड़े हो जाना. Two purposes solved. Can be washed, and you will realize who is the cause for it. There is a mirror also. Why is this happening to me? Why is this happening to me always? Why is this happening to me always only? The last one is the most sadistic. I am only going through this. Meaning what? Yeah, others are not going through this. Meaning what? If there are another few around, then I am also okay. I am not the only one crying. There are others also crying. I am happy about it. That lack from inside, that deficient nature from inside creates karma. The karma keeps, it's like a eczema. चुप नहीं बैठ सकते हैं, खुजलाए खुजली कम नहीं होती. Yes, any kind of trying to run out is khujli, an eczema. Why? Thinking, the idea is, the basic thought is, I am not complete from inside, though I keep chanting Purnamadaḥ, Purnamidam, Purnāt, class khatam nahi hua, utho mat. I keep chanting that everything is Purnatva, but from inside there is only a Purnatva. Therefore, I keep experimenting with the world outside. Maybe this thing will give me Purnatva. Anything new that which we purchase or which we get as a gift or procure, first few moments there is a thrill. I wouldn't even call it a joy. Thrill. How long does it last? Because soon we realize that apurnatva is still persisting. Therefore, second karma. Instead of defining karma as desire, I would like to define it as craving. Very intense. So intense that as I am engaging, involving, indulging in one padartha, I am already looking out for second padartha. You have been craving for ice cream. You are scoop after scoop, scooping it away. The name is dollop. But here it is like buckets. Dollop means a very small quantity. Bucket after bucket is being scooped out. And while you are scooping, if somebody asks, are you happy? Yes. But we are already scanning. What else? Where else? How else? Because that apurnatva is not satiated. So we experiment with things, we experiment with people, we experiment with places, we experiment with timings, we experiment with ambience in that environment. Nothing of that outside can ever bring that fulfillment. The day we understand this principle and thus thereby look at everything as temporary and not something that which we open the gates of our heart to sit inside and create disturbance. When that concept is completely digested, then the way I behave with the world outside. Agate swagatam kuryat nirgate nanivarayet. आता है पार्टी, जाता है पार्टी. There is no insistence that it has to be retained, it has to be mine, it has to be owned, it has to be secured. Comes swagatam kuryat. Nirgate swagatam kuryat. Nanivarayet. Don't try to stop it, don't try to hold on to it. Don't. That holding, the only thing to hold is to the concept that nothing from the outside can bring the fulfillment. People from Dallas ask me, now that you are in Hyderabad, are you happy? People from Hyderabad will ask, now that you are in Hyderabad, are you happy? The internal contentment is independent of the place, independent of the people, independent of the environment, independent of the things, independent of the interaction. That is the place of functioning from wherever I go, I give happiness. Wherever I am the source of happiness. Not the other way around. That is the depth of vītarāgiṇām. śāntānāṃ vītarāgiṇām. mumukṣūṇāmapekṣyo'yam. In this anticipation, for the sake of the mumukshus, ātmabodhaḥ vidhīyate. This ātmabodha is being expounded upon. Just one shloka, it is like packed with the entire synopsis of what we are getting into. Now he starts expounding. Second shloka, page number 13, if it is this book. bodhonyasadhanebhyo hi sakshan mokshaika sadhanam pakasya vanhivat jnanam vina moksho na siddhyati. Then how do we reach to that highest? See, there are some batsmen, when they come on crease, they have to take some time, few overs, to settle. There are others that as soon as they come, first ball, six, nothing less. Similarly, Adi Shankaracharya ji is such an opening batsman that right from the first ball, it is a 6 thaka. He doesn't mince with words, he doesn't sugarcoat his words. That is why his style of work is often recognized as Shanta Gambhira. He doesn't create agitation. He doesn't create no kelking. Shanta. But yet the depth is so amazing that whichever seeker that comes at whatever standard or understanding, to them it comforts. And as they dig in, they say, Ocha, there is this layer also. Each word can take us deeper and deeper. So what is the concept that is brought in here? He says, Bodhaha anya sadhanebhyo hi sakshat moksha eka sadhanam. Anya sadhanebhyo hi. What are the different sadhanas that we do in the name of spirituality? We do puja. If you are not doing, you should. Because some of you are like, you should. Japa. That's why in Hindi the word is puja, pothi. Pothi ka matlab some kind of chanting, some kind of Vishnu Sahasranama, Lalita Sahasranama, Ramayana, Bhagavata. Something has to be chanted constantly. Puja, japa, chanting, or Veda Patha, some kind of chanting. That vibration has to be constantly maintained. Dhyana, Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, Trataka ityadi yoga kriya, Yogasana abhyasa, Yama niyama ityadi, Shama, Dama, Uparama, Titiksha, Shraddha, Samadhanam ityadi. We have already seen these words yesterday. All these are sadhanas. Anya sadhana. Anya sadhanebhyo hi. All these are called sadhanas. But bodhaha, knowing, sakshat, eka, mokshaika sadhanam. The first word, bodhaha, has to go with the last compound word, moksha eka sadhanam. Nothing else can ever bring moksha. The reason I went very slow is let those words sink in. Puja, japa, nothing will give moksha. Let me be blunt here. Even Sakshatkara is an amazing experience, not a hallucination. I am not ridiculing it or belittling it. Including Sakshatkara of our Ishta Devata is not absolute in nature. Why? There is a perceiver, there is a perceived, and it is dvandva. Dhruva, after having seen Bhagavan within the 6 months of effort, he says, Bhagavan, now I am trupta. The Bhagavan says, No, you are not. Go back with this intensity of experience and fulfill all your vasanas with a dedicated mindset. Then you will find your Guru. Who is Dhruva's Guru? Narayana. Narada Muni. So at a later stage, Naradji comes and then points out this Advaita Tattva, where he, after Shravana, this Jnana Bodha, and then moksha becomes his experience. Kabir Das ji puts it in a simple language. The absolute experience of Parama Prema, प्रेम की गली अति सांकरी, जिसमें दो न समाये. There is no me and भगवान. जब मैं था तब हरि नहीं, अब हरि है तो मैं नहीं. There is only oneness. There cannot be two, and that can be ascertained only with. The Upanishad says, Jnanat evatu kaivalyam. The Rishi there did not say Dhyanat evatu kaivalyam, Pujat evatu kaivalyam, Japat evatu kaivalyam. He says Jnanat evatu kaivalyam. That kaivalya tattva can be experienced as my very being, which is the substratum of this entire creation. And that Parabrahma tattva is me. This experience can be ascertained only by. What about the other sadhanas then? If it is only jnana, then why should I be focusing on the rest? So his example is beautiful. Whenever somebody says that Swamiji, this recipe, I downloaded it from internet and I am cooking it only for you, I am very careful. I say, Amma, sorry, today is my upvasa. No, why should I be the platform of experiment? Go experiment on your family and then can bring it to me. So if somebody were to cook, you have this recipe, you have gathered all the utensils, you have gathered all the karana, upakarana, instruments and these support. You have cut all the vegetables, julienne cut. All the ingredients are there. Some exotic dish. Exotic means that which is not normal in your place. That's all. Even dal chawal will become exotic in Europe or America. Here it is ghar ki dal, dal barabar. So some exotic dish, you have procured all the things. You have gone through step by step, pour the oil, saute this, put, nothing is happening. And then they say, Swami ji, ये काहे नहीं हो रहा है? हमने तो सब कुछ लाया, सब कुछ किया. This is pakasya vanhivat. If you don't light the fire underneath, there is no cooking. By this definition, salad is not cooking. Did you cook? Did you eat something? Yes, I had salad. That is not called cooking. It has to be purified by that fire. That is when you call it paka. Can paka happen without fire? Yes, Swamiji. We can microwave it. There is no fire there. Fire has two aspects, light and heat. Does microwave produce heat? तो हुआ ना? Without that element of fire, there cannot be cooking. You may have prepped with all the ingredients, all the material, all the utensils and everything cut and prepped perfectly fine. But if the fire is not lit, no cooking is successful. It is not possible. Similarly, all the other sadhanas are prep work to prepare the individual for one thing only, to make this buddhi so sharp, so available, so contained that when jnana happens, when jnana is delivered, you immediately cognize, oh, so there was a Mahatmaji, and we were sitting, people were asking questions. It's a very tricky question that somebody asked. Have you realized, and how does that state of experience be? It's tricky because the moment you claim it, you have lost it. I am realized, done. So he smiled and he said, you cannot trick me with that question. At least tell us the experience. What he said was such humbling way to look at it. He said, I felt the most dumb. Usually in the Upanishads we read ha vu ha vu ha vu. That there is that ecstasy. He says, I felt very dumb. And we were all perplexed. I said, what do you mean? So he gave an example. Early in the morning, you are rushing for the lecture and you were frantically searching for your glasses. Your grandkid comes and points, Dada, kya dhoond rahe ho? What are you searching? So, my glasses, beta, I am getting late. And he laughs and he says, when you realize that which already is, it is already there. When you realize that it already is, how do you feel? Ha, woo, ha, woo, ha, woo. Or, don't you feel grounded? It's the most humbling, grounding experience. That you feel that you have been so dumb so far. That it is right here and yet I have not cognized it. How? How come I missed it so long? Pakasya vanhivat jnanam Just like without the fire there cannot be cooking, without this bodha there is no moksha. Jnanat evatu kaivalyam. Here I would like to mention one clause. Meditate to realize is a very wrong concept. And with your reactions I can see, oh, was that the immediate reaction? Because we have been hearing that only. Meditation is an action. Anything that which is karma cannot yield, because the product of karma is karma phala. Karma phala is limited by time. It is parichinna vastu. And parichinna vastu, if it has to be brought out of meditation, and what do you experience in meditation? No mind state. This is more like a Bodha philosophy. If meditation means no mind state and being there, putting that effort, you don't need to put that kind of an effort. Eat sumptuous food, finish it off, top it off with nice curd rice. Mango season, add mango slices also, and then lie down flat and then close your eyes. Where do you reach? No mind state. उसके लिए इतना सब करने की क्या जरूरत है? पहुंच गए. No mind state. Both these concepts are detrimental. Meditation does not yield moksha. Effort, if it leads to moksha, that means it is karma phala. Karma phala is limited. Karma phala is produced. That which is produced, it has MFG, date of manufacturing. It will have EXP, expiration date. If that is the kind of moksha, go enjoy in the world. That sukha also, that kind of joy also which you are enjoying is temporary, of that same nature. It gets manufactured, it gets destroyed, you again search for another one. Now, what is that great new about this experience then? Is it permanent? If it is not permanent, then it is not moksha. Jnanat evatu kaivalyam. Knowing, and knowing is not, as I started today, knowing the knowing is not an action. When you light a lamp, get this example very clearly. When you light a lamp, what is the first thing that it illumines? Itself. Isn't it? It may reflect on other surfaces later, but itself is the first illumined. And that is the beauty of this illumination. Knowing, the knowing, illumining the illuminator is its intrinsic value, its swarupa lakshana. Therefore, there is no doing in between. Whoever named Manava as human being, at least let us raise to that namesake. We are not called human doing. We are called being. Be the being. And that knowing is what is called bodha here. And without this jnana, there is no moksha. Vina mokshaha na siddhyati. Nānyah pantha vidyate yanaya. Where does this come? Somewhere, Swamiji. Purusha Sukta. Na anyaha pantha vidyate ayanaya. To reach to the abode of self, there is no other path other than knowing the being. And knowing is not an action. This wrong concept, unless that is shaken up and removed, no progress can happen. After listening, the first thing that you are engaging in is, what do we do to realize? पूरा रामायण सुनने के बाद, why was Rama running after Sita? Who is Sita? Every other doing is taking us away from this moksha. Amongst that field of doing, there are certain few which fine tunes the equipment where there is this possibility, highest possibility of knowing the being. And those are prescribed as sadhana, puja, japa, dhyana, shravana, manana, nididhyasana, yoga kriyas. All of these are preparatory necessities. And all of this comes under karma. And what should be the attitude of karma? Karturāgnaya prapyate phalam karma kim param karma tajjadam kritimaho dadau patana karanam phalama shashvatam gati nirodhakam. Now comes the point. Ishwararpitam nechaya kritam chitta shodhakam mukti sadhakam. They are not saying, even Ramana Maharshi ji there is not saying that by performing all of this with this attitude, you attain moksha. No, you attain to the environment which gives you the direct connect for being able to know. So what should be the attitude? On one Sunday or weekly once you do some service and say, I have become a karma yogi. Or even worse, people say, oh, my husband is a karma yogi. He goes to work and he is wedded to his work. That is called being workaholic, not karma yogi. उसको कर्मठ बोलते हैं, कर्म योगी नहीं बोलते. It is whatever thought, word, action is done with the attitude of Ishwararpana buddhi, Ishwararpitam, na ichhaya kritam. There is no ego involved, engaged. Very difficult. Whatever we do, at the end, what do we say? Sarvam Ishwararpanamastu, Krishnarpanamastu. Isn't it? even this that is being performed, which is Vishnoho Prityartham, that is also done as Samarpita Bhava. Bhagwan, I don't have to remind you how to take care of me. Suppose you have a kid and that kid is constantly reminding you, Papa, Papa, do you know, you remember, right? You have to take care of me. Initially it may look cute when the kid is small. After he grows up and still remains with the same attitude. Chalan, मैं जानता नहीं? Do I not know how to take care of you? That you have to keep reminding me. तू अपना काम कर. Every day we sit in Bhagwan, please take care of me. The whole arati is like that. Therefore, our Bhagwans are also standing like this. मैं मूरख कल कामी, मैं सेवक तुम स्वामी. भगवान is like this. अरे बस करो बाबा, हर दिन यही गाते हो, मैं जानता हूँ. एंड दूसरा हाथ ऐसा रहता है, मतलब क्या, पुढे चला, आगे बढ़. All the sadhana is preparatory so that chitta shuddhi alone is the focus. कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन मा कर्म फल हेतुर्भुः मा ते संगोस्त्व कर्मणि. Where does this come? Very good. If you just give me a generic answer that it was Bhagavad Gita, second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. This karma purpose is not joy, it's not happiness. Why? It is incapable of producing it. Its purpose is to be doing with this Ishwararpana buddhi and being selfless while doing it. Thereby chitta shuddhi is ascertained. In Viveka Chudamani, Bhagavan says, Adi Sankaracharya ji there says, Chittasya shuddhaye karma natu vastu upalabdhaye. Vastu? Atma Chaitanya Tattva. That is not ascertained through karma. What is the purpose of karma then? Chittasya shuddhaye. It is to purify us from inside out. Now, continuing, Bhagavan says that we will do the third shloka tomorrow. I just realized that we reached to the time. Om sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayaha, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschit dukkha bhag bhavet, asato ma satgamaya, tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, mrityorma amritangamaya. Om purnamadah purnamidam purnat purnamudachyate purnasya purnamadaya purnameva vasishyate. Om shanti shanti shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.